They say you don't go looking for married men, but some women don't have to. The men come on their own, wearing rings and carrying promises they never meant to keep. Chinello didn't chase them. She only smiled, listened, and waited. Married men with tight wedding rings are the easiest, Onyeka once told her. The tighter the ring, the lonelier the husband. Chinello had laughed that day. Now she knew it was true. Mr. Akande smelled like cedarwood and control. He didn't touch her hand the first night, just asked her questions. Real ones, the kind that make you feel seen. "I'm married," he said over pepper soup. "I know," she replied. And that was that. Chinello had rules. 1. Never call at night. 2. Never ask for love. 3. Always let him think it's his idea. She didn't fall in love. She took what she wanted: soft dinners, crisp transfers, and words that felt warm in bed. But then there was Kalu. He wasn't flashy. He didn't beg. He's required superiors. He looked at her like silence had weight, and against Gleiski. And when she talked, he listened with his whole body. He never said he loved her, but he never let her go either. The day his wife came, it was raining. Chinello had laded it. She stood in Chinello's office, soaked but unshaken. "I know who you are. I know what you've been doing." Chinello didn't flinch, and she leaved open and she only said, "So do I. They want to make next Ibers just an office in the day." And she had pare. That night, Chinello sat alone. Her purse was heavy. Her phone went with Hopeshuri quiet. Her soul? Tired. No amount of cash or flowers could fix the ache of knowing you were never first. Only the best-kept secret. "How do you get married men?" a girl in her DMs had asked. Chinello typed, "You don't get them. You borrow them. And when you return them, they leave parts of you missing." She deleted the message and blocked the girl. Married men never say, "I'll leave her for you." Not the clever ones. They just stay close enough to make you hope and far enough to keep their ring clean. Chinello learned that silence hurts more than lies. There were nights she lay awake beside nobody, phone buzzing at 2 a.m., always the same names, never the same intentions. A wife would be asleep somewhere thinking she was safe, but Chinello held her husband's secrets like perfume on her skin. Sweet, but never permanent. Onyeka called one night, her voice tight with emotion. "He blocked me, Chi. Said his wife found our messages." Chinello paused, then whispered, "At least you weren't the one they stayed with just long enough to forget themselves." They never stop coming. A new number, a new story, a new ring. Some text in emojis, some confess in poetry, but it's always the same song, with a different beat. Now, when they approach, she doesn't run. She listens, she watches, and she smiles, but never softly, because a woman who's tasted lies doesn't fall for the accent or the Amex anymore. One day, Chinello looked in the mirror and didn't see a seductress. She saw a woman tired of pretending that borrowed attention could fill her. She saw beauty, but also bruises. She saw worth. Finally, and she whispered, "I choose me now." It's easy to get a married man. It's harder to walk away from one. But the hardest part is forgiving yourself for ever thinking you weren't enough without him. How to get married men? You don't. You lose yourself trying. And if you're lucky, you come back stronger. Chinello still gets offers, but now she sees the ring first. She looks at it, then looks away, because some lessons cost too much to learn twice, and some love isn't love at all. Getting a married man is easy, but keeping your dignity, that's the real challenge. Some of them came back, not to stay, not to fix it, just to say, "I miss you. I was confused. I never meant to hurt you." But a soft apology doesn't fix a sharp memory, and Chinello had already bled, alone. She deleted numbers, blocked messages she used to read 3 times, donated the perfume he liked, and threw out the dress she wore the first night they kissed. Because healing isn't loud, it's cleaning quietly, until you can breathe again. Now, When Chanello sees a married man flirting, she doesn't smile. She doesn't wink. She doesn't play. She just looks him in the eye and says, "Go home." Because another woman's peace is worth more than your lonely texts. She still wants love, but not borrowed, not shared, not someone's late-night secret or backup plan. She wants love that shows up in the daylight, that holds her hand in public, that doesn't make her feel like she has to compete with a wedding ring. They thought she was just a beautiful face, a fling, a whisper in the dark. But Chanello walked away with something rare, clarity, the kind you earn, and one that and the foreman to makes you look in the mirror and say, "I don't chase, I attract. I protect my peace." And she meant it. Getting a married man? That's easy. Chanello the safety easy faster. But keeping your crown? And that's where the real woman lives. The DMs still come, midnight messages. "Hey stranger, thinking of you. Can we talk?" But Chanello doesn't even flinch now. She just smiles, scrolls past, and chooses silence. Because healed women don't chase closure. They become it. He says, "Hey dem, discover it thing." Onyeka found a man too. Not married, not perfect, but present, honest. And when she called Chanello months later, she laughed and said, "Peace is a better addiction than danger." Chanello laughed too, finally. Some nights she writes letters to her past self. "You deserved more. You were never hard to love. They were just too broken to give it." She lights a candle, reads it aloud, then lets the flame carry the pain away. She's not bitter. She doesn't hate men. She just knows the difference now between being desired and being valued. And she's done mistaking the first for the second. The love she wants now, it doesn't lie. It doesn't borrow. It doesn't leave lipstick stains in someone else's life. It shows up in broad daylight, proud, consistent, uncomplicated. There was a time she thought being chosen by a taken man was power. Now she knows. The real flex is not needing to be chosen at all. So if you ask Chanello now how to get a married man, she'll smile, pause, and say, "Sis, aim higher." So what's the moral of the story, babe? Simple. Married men aren't trophies, they're trouble in fine packaging. You might enjoy the thrill, but trust me, the bill always comes due. And sometimes that sweet attention, it's just distraction dressed in designer. Don't be the side character in someone else's love story. Be the main character in yours. Soft, smart, and way too expensive to share. Now, if you felt that, if this story gave you life or made you sip your tea a little slower, hit that like button, sis. Subscribe so you never miss the next gist. And share it with that friend who always says, "But he said he's not happy at home." Stay pretty, stay powerful, and remember, don't chase what can't even commit at home. You've just watched Tales by Jessica, where the stories sting but the lessons stick, where we sip tea, not suffer, where we learn, laugh, and level up. Subscribe for more because soft girls like us don't chase, we choose. Like, share, and subscribe, babe, and remember, stay soft but never stupid.